Hey, I figured I'm due for one of these because I think I took another couple weeks off from these videos. So where to start? We as in my wife and I went to Las Vegas and we went to the We Were Young festival, which is super cool. So it was a nice little vacation, but that was at the tail end of coming off of a I don't know, like a pretty draining on-call shift for work. So for context, our on-call shifts move from 1 week that it's 12 hours a day of on-call to 2 weeks, but 6 hours a day. So there's some nuances and some other differences, but I think the real tricky part is that when it's only 6 hours and it starts in the morning, and especially for myself as a manager, it's kind of like I would work 6 to noon, and then I'm gonna work noon till at least 5 and then usually 6 because I have some meetings that are with China and stuff at the end of the day. So I basically had 12-hour days the entire time. And so it was just a lot. The on-call shift itself wasn't super hard or anything like that. It was just a lot. So it was pretty draining. But yeah, We Were Young. So I had the weekend off and then a couple days after, but I haven't put a lot of content out on Dev Leader, which I'm catching up on. So I I went to go start recording that content and then said I should do this video first. It's a good warm up at least to get blabbing a little bit, and then I'll go record some Dev Leader videos. I have two sort of simple tutorials that I'm going to be doing. And then I am going to be presenting at the Albuquerque, New Mexico .NET like meetup on Wednesday remotely. I'm not flying in there. And so I'm going to be doing it on plugin architecture. So I'm going to get my slides and stuff revamped. I'm probably I I've been thinking about this. I think the I have a direction I want to go with this variation because this will be the third time I sort of do this presentation. Actually, it's third time like to an audience that is not strictly my own, and then I've done it two more times, like live streaming and that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna switch it up again. I want to introduce plugin architecture, talk about what it is high level, then I want to use BrandGhost as the examples to walk through so that it's a little bit more real and tangible. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm interested in trying this, is I have a couple of flavors of the presentation I've given. I'm going to give this to ChatGPT and tell it how I would like to order things. I might even give it to GitHub Copilot, and because it has access to like my entire repository. I don't have my repository loaded up into ChatGPT, and then like I want to tell it like sort of here's the storytelling I want to do and see if it can make some recommendations on top of that. So I'm going to play around with that today. But the whole point of me mentioning that is not only is it like another speaking opportunity, I'm going to be making some YouTube videos out of that. So I can add that content to my channel a little bit more polished. I like, the doing it live is fun. Doing it on the live stream of my own is fun. And I think it would be nice to feel like it's a little bit more polished and available on YouTube. So I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to try to get through that today. I've been going back, like I'm trying to add in a little bit more gym. Was was actually recording a code commute video last night, like walking on there's a treadmill behind me, or like a walking pad. So I was doing a little bit of walking before bed for about like 50 minutes or so. It's great to just like add in extra steps. I don't walk a lot. I'm sitting here for for a while. So it was like I should get some code commute stuff in. And so yeah, I kind of said in that video like I'm not feeling great about my current body composition, I guess. So I switched over to CrossFit from bodybuilding not quite a year and a half ago, just over a year. And I was thinking like, oh, that'll be great because I'm short and pretty heavy from bodybuilding, and like it'll be good to get into CrossFit so that I can probably just stay leaner. But it hasn't been the case. Like my body fat has gone up a significant amount, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable in my own body anymore. So I'm like, well, at least I know what to do. I need to be a little bit more regular with my eating. I don't want to go back to like, you know, chicken, rice, broccoli kind of thing. Like I don't think it needs to be that strict, but it needs to be a little bit tighter than it is now. And like when I was bodybuilding, I had to do cardio. It was just like walking, right? But I had to do it, and I haven't really been. So yes, CrossFit is a lot more like sprinty kind of output, but the overall number of calories, like if I go walk on a walking pad for 50 minutes, that's like 250 to 300 calorie range. Like I'm not getting that in a CrossFit workout. Especially if I'm not doing that every day. Like I try to, but when I was on call, for example, I had 2 weeks off, and like that's a long time off. And then I went to Las Vegas and like wasn't eating well. So anyway, I'm just trying to get a little bit more consistent, I guess, with eating, with cardio, and then I'm going to be adding in like if I can't make it to CrossFit for some reason, I'm going to the commercial gym because CrossFit classes are at inconvenient times. If I miss it in the morning because I sleep in, I have to get there for like 6, and that's not going to work. So I'll just go to my commercial gym. Anyway, that's kind of side note. What else is going on? BrandGhost. We had a lot of really good customer interactions last week that I'm really happy about. It's like even when it's like, oh, help fix a bug or I'm having an issue kind of thing, like that tells us that people are interested enough to use it, that they're literally, instead of just giving up on it, they're reaching out to be like, hey, I don't know how to use this, or it's not working how I expect, or I wish it could, or it's broken outright, and they're willing to have a conversation about it. And while that sounds kind of funny, because like, what do you mean? Like, why do you want people to reach out to you when stuff is not working? Like, you want stuff to not work? No, I want stuff to work, but it's a good signal that people are reaching out, right? Otherwise, they would just walk away from it. So I feel good about that. I think we got to talk to a few people and make them feel good about the product. So I'm happy about that. I had a couple of interesting. I might see how I make some YouTube videos on this, but I had a couple of like bugs that were in BrandGhost for a long time, and they weren't stopping things from working, and I couldn't figure them out. And I'm like, whatever. Like it's it's doing what it needs to do. Like almost 100% of the time. I'm not gonna freak out about it. And then if a user, a customer is complaining about it, then I'll figure it out. And we were helping with something else, and there were two of these issues that came up, not related to what they similar parts of the code, but unrelated to what a user was asking about. And I was like seeing it, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a while. I have logs for this. I'm gonna send it over to ChatGPT, have it like walk through this. And two issues in a row that I was completely stumped on for months. It got right away, and in both cases, I was looking at the wrong thing. This is a perfect example of like if someone else just like looked at it for you. Like if I could turn to a buddy and be like, "Hey, walk through this code with me," they'd probably find it. It was the exact same thing with ChatGPT because like I'm hyper focused on thinking what I suspect it is, and it was wrong. So anyway, super cool. I'll probably try to make a video on that. What else? Yeah, so the BrandGhost stuff I think is going pretty well. There's a couple features we're closing in on. So we have like cross-platform tagging. I don't think we've enabled it for everyone, but it's there. Like I've been using it for like over a year. But I think we're about to turn it on for everyone. We have this inner circle feed concept. So we have like a reaction feed. What do we call it? I can't remember what we call it. But it's like it's your social feed for people engaging with your content. So we have a feed for that. This inner circle feed one is where you can specify people that you are interested in following closely, and you can get like a dedicated feed of their content. It only works on certain platforms though because of the APIs available. So we'll enable that soon for everyone. It's really handy if you're like, as a content creator, you're like, I'm really interested in other content creators and engaging with them. You can use this. And then the other really big thing that's super cool, I got to film a video on, is that we finally in the user interface have, and I say finally in the user interface, I don't think it's turned on for everyone yet, but the code and everything's there so I can demo it. But we have the ability now to generate posts based on your content using templates. There's another variation of that generates posts based on the shape and structure of your other posts. So we have both abilities. So just to give you an example, if you don't have content to start with and you're like, I need help creating content out of nothing, you can use the one variation to basically have, templates that have, like a hook and, bullet points, like kind of like a shape or structure of a post. So you can kind of kickstart some of that. This other variation I'm talking about, if you have like a lot of posts in your topic streams that you feel good about, then you could use this other variation to say, just take the shape and structure of a bunch of them and then use content from other ones and like come up with posts, like new posts, basically like remixing your content. So I'll be able to make some videos and showcase that, but that's a huge thing for us. And then we need to turn on some of the like the group management functionality. So you could have what's a good way to explain this? Like almost like teams, I guess. So you could have a collaboration and stuff like that. So other people can log in and work with your social media content. So you could have someone managing your accounts. Think like agencies and things like that. So we'll enable some of that functionality, but a lot of cool stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I think the final thing to note is I do have approval to get started on my next course. So I was a little bit blocked because my camera lenses, I have two of these lenses, the one that you're looking through right now and another one. This one that you're looking through right now was broken. And it's like a $1,500 lens, and I had to go buy another one. This is like over a year ago or something. That new one just stopped working. Wouldn't autofocus, wouldn't manually focus, and now I went to a store to get it checked out, and they were like, "We have no idea why this is happening. Like, go send it into Sony. It's going to take forever." And then he was trying out this lens that you're looking through, and he's like, "This one seems to work totally fine to me." And I was like, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, it was broken. That's why I got this other lens you're looking at." He said, "Seems to work, but to test, will it?" Yeah, so it autofocuses, right? Back to my face. It wasn't doing that before. That's why I bought my other lens. So anyway, it looks like I'm unblocked to start filming my course. So I'll do that. And I think that's it. Just pumping out a lot of content. Got some podcasts and stuff coming up as well. Stuff's good. So yeah, I think that's it. Check out the content on the other platforms. If you haven't checked out BrandGhost yet, check that out as well. It's totally free to schedule a cross post, and then there's paid for stuff. So if you think it's awesome, pay for it. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.